Welcome everyone to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for March 4th through the 6th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link because the signs are different. All right, so this weekend, very important weekend in the astrology. Essentially, we've got a total solar eclipse on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we're approaching that, and essentially we're in the balsamic phase of the lunar cycle, which is about going within, reflecting, and particularly reflecting on maybe the last 6 months, the last lunar cycle, but just of life in general in our life. And so it's a good time to retreat. It's a good time to go within and do that. In this case, acceptance, because this solar eclipse is going to be associated with the South Node, which is about accepting the old energies. Right? Just accepting things in life that maybe we're yearning for, striving for, and it's through that acceptance that we allow any old energies associated with them to just go, to naturally leave in that sense. So it's a great weekend for that. It could be healing, it could be spiritual, but all in all, going within and really reflecting on where we might want to see ourselves in the next 6 months. Because this is a very transformational part of the year where we, in this case, with this solar eclipse, shed the old energies, and then later in the month, cultivate new ones and continue to work with the energies that we've been working with for the past 6 months in that sense. But we have to shed the old to make way for the new, and this is a weekend of really approaching that more spiritual acceptance, which can actually lead to a tremendous amount of spiritual liberation. So let's go and look at the weekend in terms of what this looks like. Now we've got some very important aspects. Now starting on Friday, we've got the moon still in Sagittarius, which is that overarching view. So just like on Thursday, I think Friday is great for that examining of life, our life purpose, what is the meaning of life, these kinds of things. Maybe tapping into that more adventurous, top-down, philosophical perspective. And in that way, we do balance that lunar energy. Now, going into Saturday, we do have Mercury squaring up to Mars. And so with this one, we could feel perhaps a bit inhibited with the thinking. You know, we've got Mars, which is our drive, our desires, in a square position, sort of clashing with our minds or our communications. So it could be inhibited thinking, blocked thinking, perhaps, or maybe it could even be taking action without thinking if it's the over extreme of Mars. So the key is to be aware of both. Be aware of the drives of Mars, be aware of the thoughts, the mind, which is Mercury, and that'll help balance this out. And so if you are feeling any type of hesitation, there might be too much Mercury energy, which through that awareness can help neutralize that. Or if there's too much impulsivity, maybe like taking action, rushing into things, observing the desires can help neutralize that as well. So that'll be strong on Friday and going into Saturday. Now on Friday in particular, the moon is going to go over Pluto. So this is nothing new. This happens every lunar cycle. Squaring up to Uranus, of course, because of that position. So here it's this deep inner transformation. And I think seeing what's within us in that deep level can actually be a very good source for change and transformation going into the rest of the week. And again, it's quite reflective in that nature. Now, as we go into Saturday, the moon is going to start to shift into Capricorn, and we still do have that Mercury squaring up to Mars integration there with the desires and minds. Now, we do have some new energies coming into the rest of the week or the weekend. One is the sun is squaring up to Saturn. This will be Saturday and Sunday. So with this one, it's the same kind of thing in terms of it feeling perhaps limiting. Saturn is that stern approach to life, the grounded approach. In Ophiuchus is, are we doing things because they're real, because they're meaningful? And so if we do approach it in a way of wanting to take our self-expression with patience, with discipline, then it can really prolong a lot of that. In fact, it can be an excellent weekend for really building our self-expression, our ideas with Mercury, our intentions with Mars, our long-term goals with Saturn. But it does take that willingness to take action, to be patient and persistent in the process, particularly with the things that are important to us, which is that sun. So really accepting that self-limitation can go a long ways and can help us really work effectively with this. Now, going into the next month, really, all the way into April, we have the South Node conjoining up to Chiron. This is a very important aspect. It is going within a 1-degree orb this weekend. So with this, and this goes back to that whole solar eclipse energy, there is that healing that is taking place with the old energies. So if you haven't already been feeling this, but especially going into next week, if you're feeling any of the insecurities, the doubts, the inhibitions, the fears, things that are needing to be accepted in terms of our own, usually with Chiron adequacies or inadequacies, And it's through that acceptance with the South Node in particular, we can heal. We can be more aware of who we are on that deeper level. And in that way, again, it does form that basis and that foundation for these new beginnings and new life path energies. So with anything aspecting the South Node, it's always aspecting the North Node. So it's important to talk about this. This is this new conscious life path. And although a lot of this is coming a little bit later in the month, this is where it's taking us, is this new direction in terms of our interests, our passions, our true self, which is the North Node shifting into Leo. Now it is reflective. It's good to continue to think about this, rehash, learn, consider what these interests and passions might be. But still, knowing that the conscious energy is very much supporting us to really be our true self, to get involved in situations and to do things because it is true to us. It's really meaningful and it's an expression of who we truly are. All right, so that's going to be, that's the general energy going into these eclipses. And the weekend can be great for integrating that, particularly with healing any old energies around that. Now, going into Monday, we do have the sun sextiling up to Pluto. So with this one, there's this slight opportunity for change. Maybe seeing things in a new light, in a new perspective can be quite refreshing, in fact, especially as the sun eases up off that square with Saturn. So it's a minor note, but I think just being aware that there could be an opportunity for transformation, maybe through that soul searching, maybe a deeper insight going into Monday is actually great to build into this new beginning, this new spiritual, transformative new beginning with the eclipses. All right, so I hope you guys have an excellent weekend. Thanks for watching. Thank you again for all of your support, and I'll see you guys all on Monday. Take care.